fall, we would go out and gather, put the clay together, mold it together, mold it, and turn it into faces and structures of different birds or fish, whatever it was. But it usually used to be people. People used to be the main thing. But because I couldn't get people the way I wanted to, maybe that caused me to turn to drawing people. To be more specific, my calling probably wasn't to sculpt. But people, you know, especially the women around, my sisters and everybody else, their friends, used to fascinate me a lot. And because I come to from that level of perspective as a black person as well, that turned out to be a bit easier for me. Not easy in the sense that I was going to be an expert, but to force myself almost into becoming an artist in that form, to present, to produce people of my kind. Like I said, because I come from that perspective, and everything I do would be from that perspective, unless it was going to be diplomatic happenings. But otherwise, that will be me forever. Yes, I traveled through school. We used to draw at nights out in the street lights, under the street lights, draw cowboys, and real big ones, you know, right across the street, big murals, with dogs barking in the background, you know, ready to take over the same spot later. So, you know, we enjoyed ourselves like that, drawing. School, when we go to school, you know, we used to do some swappings at times. Girls used to give their drawings up for us to do under the desk, and we used to give them our sums. So, you know, yeah, we did get on like that. We continued, you know, throughout all the schools, and we had some great guys around us. Well, there was one of our friends by the name of Dervent Fong. He was Chinese, and he was very articulate in his drawings. He was a great linear person. His lines was perfect. He could, well, his usual drawing used to be that from the exercise book, the Queen. you know, the Queen used to be an exercise book. Front cover of the exercise book. He was perfect in that, Dervent. Then we had another chap, G. Leroy Jackson, you know, Lloyd Simmons, you know, Teddy Paul, you know, all guys like us, you know. We used to keep drawing because the girls loved when you could draw for them, you know. Even a simple leaf, they would pass it in the background for us to draw. And I used to get marks for it. So we used to get marks for that song. So the teacher said, how did they come by that? And then that was a struggle otherwise. The main thing. For me, really, I always want to express what I see. Not just in landscape, yes, but people more so, you know. There's some...
Why do you think you had that real strong desire to express? I mean, why do you think that was?
Well, maybe it's my birth and my and the people I see around me from beginning. I didn't see anybody else but those people in my area, and it goes far as into my country, you know. And my mind was just embedded in that, and that's all I wanted to do, express my people. And we continued, and we've been to different art schools, you know, picking up little here and there. There was Keith Llewellyn, a Jamaican artist, who I used to get on very well with him, and he used to Royal College in Eureka Road, yeah, that's Crossroads. And Keith used to say to me sometimes, you take...
This is Kingston.
Kingston, this is Kingston.
It's in Jamaica, but...
This is, yeah, Kingston, Jamaica, Crossroads, yes. And Keith used to say to me, Ossie, you take over I'm going out, so you take over, and you know. But I wasn't any trained person or anything like that to say I'm an artist of such. But he just used to have faith in me that I could do something. And even from elementary school, way back, you know, I was called an artist by the girls. Girls used to be all around me all the time, saying artist, 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 footballer, 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 you know. I used to have a group from Kingston Senior School which followed me around, you know, shouting Tassie Murray. They call me Tassie because of this, because of my football playing, my styles. And we used to win too, you know. We were always champions, but art was always a thing. It was always art. But that probably too was part of the artistic styling, you know, it's coming out in other forms. Aesthetics of the, you know, coming out, you know, more and more in different avenues, different areas of, you know, life. You know.
You told me of an incident when you were quite young at home, where you surprised the family by painting a particular picture. Can you remember?
Oh yes, yes, it was my uncle. He was very boastful, and he used to come around and, you know, he always showing off, you know, what he can do and all. He was like a magician too, and he used to work magics. I don't know how he did all those things. And a great ukulele player, not ukulele, mandolin player. He was great, you know, really play. You'd think that you're in somewhere in what do you call this place? Italy? Yes. And he was good. He could do everything almost. But one day I got this black pencil, carpenter's pencil, and I decided to draw a scorpion on the wall. And my sister saw me and she said, oh yes, go on. And I draw the scorpion. And she said, it look really? And so my uncle came in now, and he saw this scorpion on the wall. And straight away he took up one of my mother's shoe, yeah? And he started to beat the wall and cry, oh Father, oh Father, oh Father. So a piece of the wall was knocked out, and my mother was laughing, and he started to quarrel with everybody. Then he stopped, he didn't give me any more pocket money for a while. yeah, he didn't, he said that, you know, well, they call it like rude, don't it? You know, out of hand.
The artists that influenced you in those early times?
Well,
not having the great European tradition to learn from?
Well, to be truthful, I had no European tradition to learn from. I used to see Bibles and lots of figures in Bibles. Moses, Elijah, Joshua, going up the hill, coming down the hill, you know, drawing swords and all sort of thing like that. But that wasn't, I don't know why, but they didn't really interest me. Probably they were too sacred, you know, they were too much churchified. So that means that this is why I say that would be more of a Batman and Robin and the cowboys.
Wasn't because all the figures were white, and you weren't familiar with any kind of black depiction, and so you rejected? Is that?
No, because I wish I could still see those figures as white. Because in my mind, I still believe that they were black. I still have that inner feeling that these three figures that I was doing was black people, because I could see them in figures as white in the books. But in around me, myself, my life, and how I was thinking, I see Moses and all those people tell me that these people are saying that they're biblical people. Yeah? So I looked at those people. I see the black women, could see them walking around, and the look on these faces and their attitude, Amos, Enos, Dora, you know, all kind of names like that came from the Bible. I did not see anybody around me otherwise with names from the Bible to say, well, that person is from England and they're from the Bible. I could say, well, these people around me is from the Bible.
But there were painters, local artists.
Oh, yes.
Well known with reputations.
Oh, yes.
And in Kingston, if nowhere else.
Yeah, and yes, and I love them. For instance, a great friend of mine, Osman Watson, famous Jamaican artist, you know, he sold his paintings to, I think, Bush and all these people who used to, you know. George Bush, the American president, he bought paintings from him as well. And Osman was great. I used to go in to see, I used to pass certain places like desolate places, and I used to see Osman with easels set up at those places, painting. Just go up to him, talk to him and all that, you know. Never used to do that type of painting yet so seriously and all that. There's another man named Yue, I think, and he used to be at somewhere in Studley Park Road, and he used to be painting from life. All the things that he see was a kind of impressionist, and children used to go there to laugh because they believed that what he was doing wasn't like what they would see in a book, but this man was creating. And so I used to go there and I used to stand up and watch him. And he used to treat me as if I'm different, or I'm different from the rest. But I was interested in what he was doing. So I'd go there all the time and stand up around him, you know. And that was great. Then again, the time came when my mother asked me to go to learn art with one chap named Scott from Maxwell Avenue side, and he used to do all the posters for Majestic Theatre, Divali and all those places.
Can you explain that? Because there were these painters who would paint the scenes from upcoming
film,
and they had to more or less paint the scenes overnight. Can you?
Yes, and that's what he was good at as well.
So what was it?
It was poster painting, and he used to paint the cowboys and all it, you know, with their guns and whatever it is.
That scene from whatever film.
Yes.
The
next tomorrow.
Right.
You know, it was a quick thing sometimes. I'll come in this Thursday, you know.
In fact, in Ghana, they still do that.
Yeah?
Yeah, the painters, you see them out there painting the posters for the film that will be shown in the cinema tomorrow.
Yes, we used to look forward to that. We used to pass, when we were going to to the sea, to beach, we used to pass Majesty Theatre, especially to see from that side, especially to see if there's any new films coming tomorrow. Because, well, we'd probably sometimes know already, because we used to go every night, crushing line and all this kind of thing, to see serial and all those things. We were always at the theatre. We must have seen every cowboy films. And the Haunted Harbors and all these other things, all these films with men going into little lagoons and digging out octopuses and all those things, shaking them, try diving, killing them.
In a way, that was your introduction to art.
Yeah, all those
within
things.
that environment.
Yes.
So there were no galleries and museums of art or anything like that in your culture.
There was one place, that I've ever been to a place, a venue to see paintings up, and that was this exhibition was by a man called Ernest Delchan, I think from Brazil, and this was about landscape, and this is where landscape, a grasp-like landscape painting, because it was so good, it was so real, because there was a scene about summer, yeah. It was about summer or autumn, and all the leaves, yeah, and the leaves was the brown leaves and auburn and ochres and all these colors, and I really felt for that, and so it's the first time I saw it, and it was the last time. Ernest Delchan, I still remember his name up to this day. Many names I have learned after that. I've forgotten them completely, but just Ernest Delchan, that was that. Don't know who he was or anything. He was a black man from they call it the place Brazil, or one of those places. And then the other person I saw an exhibition, really a small exhibition.
What period would this be? Late 40s, early 50s?
Well, 50s. Yes, this was at the museum, the Museum of Jamaica, National Museum, or what you call it, and I saw an exhibition of Osman Watson down there as well. Yeah, and that wasn't as big as the Ernest Delchan, but there was small works as well, but beautifully done. Yeah, and so Osman is one of my heroes. From Jamaica, I could say Osmond, and I would remembrance of Ernest Delchan.
there is a tradition of art that grew up in Jamaica from the 1930s under the tutelage of Edna Manley. Did you know anything of Edna Manley in those days?
Well, there was husband was who knew Edna Manley, and she used to teach art at Jamaica School of Art. Yeah, it was School of Art at that time. Husband used to attend. And there's another Watson who used to attend as well. He was a Gleaner fashion, and he would have the privilege to go to every type of happenings and celebrated happenings in the country. He would always be there first, and then the next day you would see Gleaner fashion artist what's his name, Watson, yeah, at the exhibition or at the fashion show or whatever it was yesterday, you know, and he would have his works in the Gleaner every day, every single day. We used to meet up with him as well sometimes, and he used to check out to see which one of us was drawing and all this kind of thing. But you know, he was and he used to look at our things and say, well, oh, that's good, or that's whatever it is, which would be like a little gathering every evening at the ice cream parlor or whatever like that, or by Majestic or wherever you may say as Watson, yeah. What's his name again? I can't remember his first name, but he was Watson as well.
So he was the one who painted or drew the models of the latest fashion, because you used to open the Gleaner and there was always
that's him. That's
women in the latest fashion.
Yeah.
Line drawings of them.
That's line drawings. That's what he used to do. All his work was one position. He was a fashion artist. But I've never seen any of his work to say, well, he did do paintings or any, you know, other realistic work otherwise. Yeah.
So in a way, that was your introduction to the world of art in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Very much unacademic, because it wasn't like you went to some academic institution to learn. But then you left Jamaica in the early 1960s and came to England to learn in an academic way.
Right,
art.
yes.
How did you fare?
Well, first of all, when I came here, the first job I had was to work in a confectionery place, making sweets. This was artistic as well because, you know, it was dealing with colors, and I loved that. You know, dealing with colors and, you know, making up things with colors, you know, and I love that. And so while I was there, I was drawing pictures, the rooftop, and lots of the guys that I talked to in those days, engineers and whatever it is, you know, they used to buy each drawing from me. They used to say, let me have that because you never can tell what might happen. I like that, I like this. Do one for me and all that. And you know, used to do drawings and paintings for these guys. You know, some guys who they really didn't talk to anybody else. That's the truth. You know, but they seem to reason with me and say, you know, oh yeah, do one like that for me, you know. And they would take it and carry it home. They'd take their time and pay for it. Not that there's a lot to pay for, you know, you know, but they'll take their time and go on like that, paying for it. And which was good, it was quite good happenings. But from there, from that firm called Clonical, yeah, I left Clonical and went to Eastham Technical afterward. Before I left, I used to go to Eastham Technical part-time, and there I got my GC advanced level at Sir John Cass College in in it's Whitechapel. Yeah, that's Whitechapel. Yeah. So after that, I decided that I must get into the art system.
But before you go any further, when you came to England, you came to a completely different environment, completely different people, different spirit of the place, which was nothing at all like your tropical Jamaica. How did you find influence, for example, or inspiration from this new environment? Was it easy or was it difficult?
With me, it was difficult to do what I wanted to do, in the sense that I have having access to do it within myself. But outside could be difficult. This is why I had to go into screen process printing. Yeah. This is to go and learn screen process printing after all that I've had before. Because I've been going to different colleges as well. Walthamstow Central, Walthamstow Town Hall, up that college there as well, and different visitors from outside, like President Magloire of Haiti. Is it Haiti? I want Haiti. Or Liberia. You see again. And the other president from Haiti. And I'm seeing all these people. And I'm saying, that's more of the people that I see all the time. So there must be a lot more. Then I heard about Africa, you know. I heard sounds like, when we were going to school early on, I heard sounds like, from the books that we read, like this. This is the spear that killed the elephant near the house where Bumbo lives. So I said, so Bumbo, when you go on to then everything now was sort of negative around more Bumbo. But that was just Bumbo. Who was Bumbo, you know? So I said, well, boy, you know, this is strange because Bumbo must be a big giant man who can't do anything, you know? And it's just a spear, and he kills the elephant. And this is the elephant that whatever the elephant used, I can't remember the rest of it. But anyway, it's about where Bumbo lives. And
so that was your kind of, if you like, mythological introduction to Africa. But since then, you've been to Africa.
Yes.
And
oh
as
boy.
an artist, how did it affect you?
That is, how can you say this? It's hard to even say it, because the beauties and the elegance of the people, you know, and the genius of the people, you know, the things they do, how they sound, how they walk, how they talk. You feel the presence of the Bible, of a really religious thing happening, going on all the time. I remember doing a painting. I remember executing a painting that I used to love and watch and just keep it to look at it. And an African man used to come to my home and he used to look at it. Chief Bome was his name.
This was before you actually went to Africa?
Before I went to Africa. I didn't go to Africa yet. I was hoping that I could even see Bome, but that was impossible to do. You know, that would be strange. But before I went to Africa, I did these paintings, 2 special paintings especially. One was the one that Bome bought. And he used to come to look at it. He and his wife come and they would sit down. And he would stay there and he would talk and he just keep looking. He kept on looking. And then when he was going back to Africa, he said, they came again and he said, Ossie, I tell you, I must tell you why I've been coming here all the time and sitting down and looking. It's this painting that you've done. He says, this painting is exactly as my religion in Africa, and I can't leave it. And yeah, he got it and took it, and he went back to Africa with it. Again, there was another painting I did on one of my walls, and people used to come here from Tanzania, from South Africa, and they used to describe it as places that they know. They talk about, even when there was one girl named Zuleika said, this is the place where we were escaped from when we were being driven out of Tanzania. Well, what they used to call it, time before they call it Tanzania, Tanganyika. And they said they had to get out of that place, you know, the family. And they describe it as that is the place. And the 2 sisters, and they was talking and saying, yes, so, describing it. So, yes, in depth, it seemed to come out of me all the time. It's unreal all the time, this thing about Africa. And you know, I love it.
In other words, you were there
before.
In spirit, long before you were there in body.
Exactly. It seemed as if I might have been there from the beginning. Well, like, sometimes it's hard to even say might, because these things happen like that, you know. There's a reason always why people, like even you, or you could get up and you just start doing this thing without being taught from a level, oh yes, this is where you go to find this out, from a university level, you know. You seem as if you have been to university, you see, and you're now revealing those things to the lesser people because they don't know it, and so if you don't tell them, they'll forever go on carrying on with the same things.
But within the African tradition, they would say this is some kind of ancestral gift, that knowledge of Africa, a place you've never been to, must have come from somewhere, and some would say it's from the ancestors, those who went before, who pass on the knowledge to you.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Well, anything my people say, anything my African people say, I'm always inclined to believe something about it if it was new, or if it was not new and raw from our source. Then I tend to believe all that, because so many things have been stolen from us and all that. We must have something left. And that little that is left might be the part of it to revive and revitalize the whole thing all over again.
Because it's not all dead, is it?
No, it's very much alive. No, it's alive, you see. And every day you feel it more and more. And you see it coming back more and more. There are those who would cut against it. But while cutting against it, you can see that they believe in it. Well, they almost know it. You can see it at the same time, you know. And so that strength gives strength, and you move on regardless.
Okay. So, as an artist who has never stopped working in all the years from childhood through to coming here, to this present moment, you're still working. What are you working on now? And what are the influences in year 2007? What are your influences? And what are you working on at this point?
Well, at this point, there are special dreams. Some people call them visions that I've had. And I want to put these things together. I feel especially about one special one, which I must put together. I tried all the time, but it just happened that it breaks away and I can't come to the fullness of it as yet. That one, yeah. So that, you know, possibly the human being might not be present in the picture, but what he did will be.
And how do you see the future as one who, you know, have some kind of special gift, some kind of special insight where you can create images of places you've never been to? How do you see the future of the world, the future of black people, African people specifically within this world?
Bright.
A few words.
Bright future. Very bright. You know, and back to what they were in the beginning, and better still. I don't see any dull happening. All dull things is just false to the mind. Those are to prevent you from seeing truth. So I'm just looking at truth all the time. I see black people as coming back to where they used to be.